Hey y'all, and welcome to Gemini Outdoors. Today we will be evaluating the Crkt Ryan. Okay, as always, we will begin this evaluation with theory of use and reality of use and specs. My theory of use, the primary theory of use, is a new one that I've come up with, a folding bushcraft blade. I think that TOU, this knife, would perform exceptionally well in that theory of use. Others, a secondary would be as EDC, not so much as the first, and then a folding tactical blade. Reality of use is this, okay? For everyday carry, I tried this knife and it's just too big and too gawky in my pocket. Very similar to what the Crkt Tanto was. I love the knife. Don't get me wrong, I love the knife, but it just doesn't fit for my EDC. I stress mobility over capability when I'm talking about EDC. Now, a folding bushcraft blade, this would probably work perfect in that type of theory of use. And I'm pretty sure it would. Now we're talking a reality of use. I think this would work well in a pocket, in that type of a, maybe in a pocket, but probably I would keep it in a backpack. Is where I would probably keep this, unless I just decided to carry it in my pocket and have it on me, because usually I'm not going to carry a lot of stuff in my pocket when I'm going hiking anyway, or going practicing my bushcraft. So that, like I was saying, reality of use is I really don't see myself carrying this big of a blade in my EDC, but I would carry it in a folding bushcraft blade type of theory of use. Let's get to specs. The weight, 4 ounces. Overall length, 8 inches. The blade length is 3.25 inches. Materials, the handle has a G10 type of material, and the blade is a MOV steel. It is a liner lock with the locks system. Now, what the locks system does with this knife, there's a little lever right here that you push up, and once you engage it, it's supposed to make the knife strong. Some people will say that it makes it as strong as a fixed blade knife, and let me dispel this myth right now. It does not. Okay, it is still 2 pieces of steel, actually 3 if you include this. The joint is still there. Okay, it will fail at that joint. I have seen videos of this, people batoning with this, and it will break. Okay, the lock system just cannot hold up to hard batoning like a fixed blade full tang blade will. It just won't do it. Okay, the lock system is good though if you're planning on doing a little bit harder work. This knife is built a little bit heavier than, say, your normal EDC. That's why I don't carry it for EDC. It's a much heavier built knife, and it will do things that, say, my EDC blade will not, or like the Crkt Tanto. It can withstand some of that stuff. That's why I would say, like, if you're doing some heavy carving and different stuff like that, because to me, and I've already said this in previous videos, a knife is made to cut. It ain't made to do a lot of other things. Light prying, maybe. But some things these guys have been doing with these knives I see on videos is just ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying about this knife. And even with the locks system, when it's engaged, yes, it does make the blade a little bit stronger, but it is still not a fixed blade knife. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way right now. Alright, let's move on to, sorry guys, a little carried away with my remote here. Let's move on to positive aspects. As I was saying just a minute ago, it is well built. Well built. The locks system does strengthen the liner lock, and I love these big thumb studs on this knife. It makes it so easy to grab a hold of it and flip it out. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it or not, these super big thumb studs right there. I do like that. Now, some people probably won't, and that's perfectly fine. It does have some jimping on the top here. To me, I mean, jimping's okay. It does give you a little purchase on your thumb to put a little more effort into doing your carving and stuff. Also has a little jimping down here, along here, and at the back. And what I find, usually what I find with jimping down here is it eats into your hand when you're using the blade really hard and when you're carving. Now, I didn't notice it with this knife when I was carving with it. I was carving some tent stakes and stuff like that with it, and I didn't really notice it that much. So, you know, I can live with that, I guess. Negative aspects. It's well built, but it's big and bulky, and I don't like that for an everyday carry. Now, that's my preference. That may not be yours. So you may buy this knife and decide to carry it, you know, EDC it, and that's fine. If that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. Don't let me just completely, you know, this is my evaluation, how I feel about the knife. You can make up your own mind how you feel about this knife. Word of mouth, and that's the only negative aspect to it that I really got, is that it's big and bulky. For the most part, I like everything else about it. So that's it. Word of mouth is mostly good. I haven't seen any negative type videos out there about this knife other than it's big and kind of bulky. So mostly good. I mean, you can't really complain about it. So let's move on now to the eval card. Okay, let's get down to business. The eval card for the Crkt Ryan. Performance, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Reliability, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Durability, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Value, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Versatility, this is where it's going to take a hit. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Compatibility, I gave it a 7 out of 10. And the reason that I did that is because I had to make another TOU, another theory of use for this knife, because I couldn't carry it in my EDC. It's just too big, too bulky. I didn't like it. So yeah, this is my eval card, and that's just how I feel about it. Simplicity, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Maintenance, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Theory of use, I gave it a 9 out of 10 in the theory of use of a folding bushcraft blade. Alright, not EDC. I am basing this eval card off of that TOU, a folding bushcraft blade. So that's why it scored a 9 out of 10 in theory of use. Likability for me. I do like the knife. Don't get me wrong. But I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I can't use it for EDC. I can only use this basically when I go bushcrafting. Okay, or that's when I would use it. I wouldn't use this in a tactical defense top row or a self-defense top row, even though if I had to, I would. But this wouldn't be the first knife I would reach for if I knew I was going to war or anything like that. Alright, so the overall score is an 82 out of 100 with a letter score B. Let me reach down here and get my... Okay, recommendations to the manufacturer. Make a smaller version. That's basically what I think that knife needs. Just make a smaller version. They may already do it, and I just haven't seen it. But I picked this knife up at a military surplus store, actually. I didn't get it from my usual places like Gander Mountain or a sporting goods store or a Walmart or whatever. I got that from a military surplus store. So make a smaller version. I think that would really sell pretty good. My recommendations to my audience is I do recommend it. In a folding bushcraft blade type of TOU. Now, if you want to EDC a big heavy knife, that's up to you. You make the choice on that. and I completely understand if it's your thing. Hey, you may want to collect this thing as far as I know. I mean, I do like the way it looks. It kind of has a unique look to it in a way. The pocket clip, I just now noticed that. The pocket clip, it doesn't carry really deep, so it'll be seen in your pocket. In closing, and I kind of touched on that in closing, it's just too big of a knife for me, and the way I feel about my theory of use in EDC. Now that could be the way you feel about it as well. If you're the kind of person who believes in mobility with your EDC instead of capability, then that's just not the knife for you. You want something smaller. You want something a little bit more streamlined and slick. This is just too big and it's too gawky. And really, it ain't the weight so much as it is. It just feels so darn big in my pocket. It's like you can just feel it. It's there all the time, and it just aggravates me. And that's why I don't like. Another reason why I don't like carrying big blades like this in my EDC. So, like I said, it's got some very interesting things about it. I love the big thumb studs. It's like I mentioned before, the lock system is very interesting, and I believe it would help you out. Like I said, the clip is a little bit to be desired, and the blade shape just a little bit to be desired, but it works. And that's pretty much the eval of the Crkt Ryan. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. If you're viewing these videos, please subscribe. Please like the video. I really do need the subscriptions and the likes. You know, to continue doing this. It shows me that my audience is engaged with me, and I really would appreciate that. So thank you very much for watching. Till next time.